Paige West here from Procurement Pro, and I'm in Las Vegas this week at the EDS Leadership Summit. And my job this week is to find out the latest in the industry. So at the minute, I'm joined by Maryellen, who is the Director of Marketing Communications at Sager Electronics. So thanks very much for joining me. How are you? How's Vegas so far?
Well, I just got here, Paige, but thank you. Vegas is always Vegas. Not certain how else to describe it.
Yeah, you've kind of got to be here to really get a sense of what it's like.
You have to be here to really get a sense, yes.
Okay, so let's chat about Sager. So you guys have got a long established presence in electronics components distribution. So
Yes.
How would you describe your current position in the market?
So Sager, to me, we're 138 years old. We obviously have a lengthy history of integrity, a history of respect, reputation, of being a customer-driven distributor, and I still see us in that particular spot. We don't strive to be everything to everyone, but we want to be the best that we can be to our particular customer base. We love finding up-and-coming companies that really need the services of a distributor, right? They can't establish the credit, or they don't know where to go, they don't have the resources to access. So, we're exceptionally strong in that particular area. But we also have all of the capabilities of some of these really large distributors, including our parent company, right? TTI and the family of specialists. So we have large distribution capabilities, logistics, a phenomenal operations team, a web, e-commerce. So, we offer all of those things that come naturally through distribution.
So given all those points you've just said then, what would you say differentiates you and your approach to things like customer service and technical support, especially in comparison to sort of the larger distributors?
So Sager is unique in the fact that we're an IP&E distributor, but for us, the passive really is about power supplies. Obviously, there are other distributors that sell power supplies. We are not the only one. But what we did, and this came both as something that was happening organically at Sager, but also after the acquisition of TTI, when they acquired Sager, was really to look at what made us different. And it really was the focus that we were putting on power. So we started this program based on, okay, how do we build this out? And we did it both organically as well as through acquisition. And over time, that has really grown to include a specialization in thermal, a specialization in battery, and also with that, it's not just standard products, it's custom solutions. That's what we call it. Some call it value add. We're really strong in modular. We have an exceptional modular lineup with Advanced Energy, Meanwell, Vox. So we are very fortunate to have that lineup. We're really strong in custom battery management systems and assemblies, and now we have a lot of thermal capabilities that we can offer to customers through our Custom Solution Center in Lewisville, Texas.
Excellent. And speaking of power then, let's take a look at the market a little bit. So how has demand for these products evolved over the years?
Well, for us, this started probably as a niche on our line card, and we've been able to grow. We have well over 20 power supply manufacturers on our line card. We've been building out our battery program for the last couple of years, and the demand is there. I think what's really fortunate for us is that between having that standard offering as well as this specialization has really made us the number one distributor in this space for power supplies and batteries in North America. Obviously, there's a lot of strong distributors that we might compete against, but for us, between the standard product and that custom offering, we really have differentiated ourselves and brought something unique to the market that wasn't really there. Obviously, other distributors have application engineers, field application engineers. We're a little bit different. We have these sales engineers, so they're technical, they're double E's, but they have this ability to sell. And then we combine that with our traditional field sales model, backed up by an inside sales model, backed up by technical inside support. And so it's just not anything you see that anybody else offers.
Excellent. And following on from that then, what shifts have you observed in customer customer behaviour over the last, say, year, and particularly in things like design cycles, inventory strategies, or sourcing priorities?
So the last year was hard. I don't know if anyone could say differently. We came to EDS last year, and the term was over inventoried. Every meeting, over inventoried, and then things started to loosen, right? And we came into 2025 in a better spot. And we actually have exceeded our budget in both bookings and sales for Q1. April softened a little bit, but we still have had a strong first quarter. So to me, that just signals that, yes, engineers were starting to really get back into that design cycle, that design mode. And I'm a little uncertain now with what happens with the current tariff situation, and there's a lot of flux going on. So we'll see what May brings and what June brings, but I'll try to be optimistic that customers, even though they might feel some hesitancy and also feel those unknowns, that innovation really is going to win out in the end.
Yeah, that's a nice positive outlook.
That's what I'm trying.
I know we were talking earlier and we were saying that everyone's in the same boat. So.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think anyone exactly knows. We worked on a slide for EDS, and it was, projections, and people want to understand where's the market going, what's the economy going to do, and we did research, and that no one knows. No. I mean, if the economists don't know, how will Maryellen Stack know? I'm not sure, but we just have to have faith that we've done the right things, that we are doing what we can to support our customers, that we've been very transparent around the tariff situation. We've gone out, we've talked to our customers, we've talked to them about buying cycles and when it might be appropriate to bring product in or perhaps even wait. So, I think a lot of open dialogue helps the customer make those buying decisions when it's appropriate.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great to hear you're having those conversations. Okay, following on from that then, which verticals are showing strong activity for you right now?
So for us, our space has always been the industrial space, the medical space, and this is still holding true. In the medical space, we've always been particularly strong in the portable device. We're seeing things in the surgical area. I think imaging, diagnostics, those are all things that are critical, and we're holding tight there. And robotics and data centers. And data centers are probably newer, at least in my mind, right? I wasn't always as close to the customer. I'm marketing communications, but when you start seeing that larger track and those things that you start communicating on, it's clear we're making an impact in that particular area.
I think with all these AI applications, data centers are becoming more vital than ever.
And power supplies. I mean, how else do you run a data center?
Exactly,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but no, not surprised.
Unless it's magic, but I think it's power supplies.
Well, in Vegas there's a lot of magic, so who knows? Coming back to your customers, are they still concerned about things like supply chain reliability, or has the focus moved sort of back to price and lead times?
I still think it's both. Maybe it was heading more towards price availability, but the tariff situation, how does that not impact supply chain? Obviously that's going to impact your costs, but also where are you getting the product from? When can you bring that product in? I think suppliers thought after COVID, right, and they started to diversify their own channels and started moving out of maybe China into other markets, right, and manufacturing. Well, it didn't really matter at this point. The administration had these broad sweeping tariffs that no matter where you are, almost it doesn't quite matter where you manufacture. It's still a factor that has to be discussed and weighed in. So
okay, and finally then, what are your expectations for the remainder of the year? For the market and your role within it. Positive outlook?
Like I said, strong Q1, probably the best Q1 in 2 years. Customers, a larger breadth of customers, a lot of activity, design activity, a lot of design registration activity is happening. I'd like to think we'll be able to kind of weather whatever's coming at us, that we've put the right systems in place, that we've manipulated our system to do what's best for the customers when there are tariff situations, inventorying, having the product on the shelves, plus our uniqueness and our specialization and the ability to really go beyond whatever a standard solution might be to help a customer with those unique application requirements that others can't. So I'm hoping with that distribution, if you will, of different skills and abilities that Sager offers, it helps us through the next 9 months, I guess. So.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure catching up with you, and enjoy your week in Vegas.
Paige, thank you. It was great to spend time with you. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.